Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste and good morning, everybody. Mental health, the Sanskrit word for health is swastha. It means healthy. And in Sanskrit, this is a word for health in many Indian languages. So swastha means healthy in many, many Indian languages. In Sanskrit also, swastha, the word swastha itself means centered in our real nature. Swastha. Swa, our real nature. Stha, centered in our real nature. And that means a deep philosophy of spiritual health. So today I'll be drawing on the spiritual and philosophical traditions embedded in the Vedas, which we call Vedanta, the highest and final philosophical spiritual teachings in the Vedas, and talk about what is health in its deepest, most profound sense, and what we can take away from it. Centered in our real nature. Now, centered in the self, it sounds very bad, self-centered. And in fact, Vedanta says it's because it is bad, because we are centered in a false sense of the self. We do not know what we really are, and what's even worse, we think we know who we are. I know who I am. You can just look at the bio, they've got something right here. That's who I am. And if you want me to point myself out to you, here I am. This is I. What is this? It's I. Who are you? This. So this centeredness in what seems obvious to us. I am this body. And I am this person. I'm not just a body, a mind, a personality, memories. This is who I am. And Vedanta says, you're not. You're something far deeper than this, something far more profound. So that is the first approach we will take, of 4 approaches today. The first one is this inquiry into our real nature. How can we become swastha, centered in our real nature, healthy? Sri Ramakrishna used to talk he would have wonderful parables. You've forgotten all philosophy, all teachings, but these stories stay with you. So one of the parables which he loved was the washerman's diamond. So he said, imagine an Indian washerman who takes your laundry out to the riverbed and cleans it and lays it out dry and then brings it back to you. And they use stones for scrubbing dirty laundry. So this washerman, he found a diamond. But uneducated as he was, he had never seen a diamond, he didn't know what a diamond was. He didn't recognize it as a diamond. But he thought it's a pretty stone. So he just took it and he started scrubbing dirty laundry with it. But also, he knew it was a strange and rather unique kind of stone. So he once, out of curiosity, he went to his friend, the vegetable seller, and asked him, do you know anything about this? And the vegetable seller also didn't know much more than the washerman. So he said, it's a pretty stone, I'll grant you that. Look, I'll give you 10 rupees for it, which is less than a cent now, I think. So 10 rupees for it, and sell me this stone. Luckily, the washerman didn't sell him the stone, which is a diamond, and neither should we. So when we go to the physicalist, the neuroscientist who tells us, consciousness, it's just a product of the brain. Well, don't sell yourself short. It's not just that. And then finally, washerman goes here and there and finally ends up with a diamond merchant who says, wow, this is the largest uncut diamond I have seen in my life. It's extraordinarily valuable. I'll give you 1 million rupees for it or 10 million rupees for it. And so the parable goes that the washerman sold that diamond and all his poverty was gone, his problems were at an end. So that's the end of the parable. We have that diamond. And that diamond is nothing other than consciousness. It's basically the theme of what we have been discussing here from the angles of science and spirituality. Consciousness studies is not new. It's not 21st century here at Harvard. This is not the beginning of consciousness studies. A philosopher said, Evan Thompson, I think, he says that consciousness studies actually started about 5,000 years ago in these ancient Indian texts called the Upanishads, which are found in the Vedas. So they were fascinated with this subject for centuries, indeed for millennia. And they made remarkable discoveries, which I'll summarize and share this morning. Some of which we know, some of which is pretty obvious, a lot of which we do not know. It's quite startling. And it's actually quite easily pointed out. So this consciousness, we are all conscious. Right now, nobody would deny it. We are all conscious. But the Vedanta points out, notice one thing, that all our experiences are mediated and made possible by consciousness. Just now we are seeing. Whatever we see all sorts of things, different colors and shapes, but we are conscious. We are aware. These are first-person experiences, seeing, color, shape. Various experiences because the objects of vision are various, but all of them are possible because of that one thing. One thing is common to all experiences of seeing. It's consciousness. Consciousness, call it awareness, that is constant. And from seeing, go to hearing. Right now we are all listening, we are hearing. And if we stop seeing, close our eyes and just focus on the hearing, we'll see how different an experience it is. Seeing is this experience. Hearing is, okay, this experience. Very different. And yet there is one thing common to both of them. It's consciousness. Essential, core. That's what makes it possible. Otherwise, you could have sensors. There's a camera which is recording. In a certain sense, it has a lens, and in a certain sense, but it's not seeing. It doesn't have the first-person experience of seeing. The microphone, yes, it is taking my voice and amplifying it, but it's not hearing, not in the sense we are hearing. What makes the difference? It's not really the hardware. We have a kind of hardware here, wetware here, and that's hardware here. But behind this wetware, in this body, there is consciousness. And that's what makes this process into an experience of seeing, of hearing, of tasting, of touching, of smelling. In fact, all our sensory modalities, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, they're all made possible by this one thing, consciousness. Not only that, our inner life, thoughts, emotions, pleasant, unpleasant, thoughts, dumb, brilliant, memories, even the sense of self, ego, I am here, the sense I am here. All of this is made possible by the same consciousness, exactly the same consciousness. And our actions, whether you're working, playing, relaxing, walking, sitting, all our activities throughout our day are made possible, same consciousness. And I'm not saying anything here which is new. It's just right there. Consciousness studies, one brilliant thing about it is the material, the data, the evidence is present to all of us equally. We are all conscious. And it's available to all of us. I won't even say it's right before your eyes, it's a bit sort of behind your eyes. But anyway, it's in our experience. In and through all of our experience, sensory experience, inner mental life, emotional life, sense of self, actions, our activities in the world, all of them are experienced because of consciousness. And this, it's not a claim. It's sort of just obvious. But what Vedanta does is, what is obvious, it brings it before to our attention, and directs our attention to it. Look at what we already have, what's already there for us. So this, in Vedanta, it is called the light of lights. Beautiful poetry. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. From 3 of the Upanishads, the Katha Upanishad, the Mundaka Upanishad, the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, that shining, everything else shines. By its light, everything here is lit up. consciousness shining, everything else, our minds, our senses, and through them, the world shines for us. By the light of consciousness, everything here is lit up. So that's one takeaway, the absolute centrality of consciousness. And what consciousness are we talking about? Nothing mystical and nothing extraordinary. Just what we already have, the day-to-day, the diamond which the washerman had. The washerman was using it for scrubbing dirty laundry. And we are using this consciousness, this diamond which we have. We are using it to see and hear. We are using it to think, using it to love and hate and fight and enjoy and suffer and do seminars and meditate. All of that, science, religion, be nice and kind to people, be hateful and horrible to people, all of them consciousness. It's the light of lights. It is that which lights up our life. Our life is basically the central factor is consciousness. Not the body. Even the body we are aware through consciousness. Not even the mind. Vedanta points out one more thing. See, what Vedanta is doing here is, what is already there, Vedanta, it brings, it looks at it with new eyes. As the poet said, not to see new things, but to see the same things with new eyes. So look at our life again, and our whole paradigm of what we are and what's going on here begins to change. We begin to recognize it's not just a stone, it's a diamond. That's one thing. It's the light of lights. And it's right here. We always have it all the time. Another thing that Vedanta points out is, notice that this light of lights, it is constant. A simple fact. Our experiences keep changing. You look at that, and then you listen to something, then you taste something. Our experiences keep changing. What does not change is this consciousness. It's a claim, but if a little bit of reflection will show, yeah, I see what you mean. The world is changing. Our experiences of the world are changing. Our experiences of our own bodies, our minds are changing continuously. But they're all lit up by that one light. We talk in our day-to-day language, and in technical terms also nowadays, consciousness, a change of consciousness, a transformation of consciousness. Vedanta points out something quite remarkable. It is not a transformation or a change in consciousness. That actually, from a Vedantic perspective, is not possible. Whatever changes, it must be in the objective world. It must be something in the world, it must be something in the body, something in our minds, not in consciousness. Why not? Here is, again, simple, but a dramatic observation, a revelation. Consciousness is not an object. Consciousness is that to which everything else is an object. Whatever we can experience is an object. It's a thing. A philosopher, Professor Arindam Chakravarti, he has a way with words. So he says, what's an object? An object is anything that objects to your consciousness. Think about it this way. Think about your consciousness as a field spreading out. Just visualize it. And it runs up against what? This and this and that. These are objects. What you see or hear or smell or taste or touch. Or internally. If this is also very remarkable and very central to our topic today of Gen Z health. If whatever we experience is an object to consciousness, we are experiencing our thoughts and feelings, emotions, good and bad, pleasure, pain, they're all experienced. And if they're experienced, you might say so. If they're experienced, then they are objects. Just as this is an object, I see it, I touch it. Similarly, this thought, this memory, this nagging idea, this maddening question, they're all objects. So there are these two kinds of objects. Physical objects which we sense in the world around us, and mental objects. But both are objects because they are experienced. They are objects to consciousness. In that case, immediately, a result, a corollary, would be an implication, would be then the body is also an object. Because, after all, you can see the body, you can touch it, you can smell it, you can taste it. If your tummy is rumbling with your hunger, you can hear it. The body is an object. And with our scientific instruments, we are surrounded here by the products of the latest science, the best science in the world. In all these research institutes, in these hospitals, you're full of gadgets and instruments to poke and probe and prod the body, to explore it. Clearly, what Vedanta takes away from this is the body is an object. And being an object, just as, here's the insight. If this is an object, I don't say I am this. This is an object to consciousness. The body is an object to consciousness. And Vedanta says, just as you would not say, I am this table, you should also not say, I am this body. It's an object. It's a biological machine, extraordinary machine, but it's a machine nevertheless. The Upanishads talk about the body as a chariot, which you mount and travel in. So you can talk of being embodied, you can talk of being in a vehicle called the body, or using a machine called the body, but I am not the body, first. Second, even more startling and stunning, the mind. Thoughts, emotions, ideas, they're all experienced. Sense of self, they're all experienced. If they're experienced, this Vedic idea, this Vedantic idea is that then you are not the mind, they're all objects. Let me repeat that. It's an observation which is simple and dramatic, profound for us. Just as you're not the body, as you're not the table, you're not the body, you're also not your mind. The mind is an object to consciousness. Is a series of objects, mental, intellectual, memory, emotional, they're objects. Pleasure, pain, they're objects. If it can be experienced, then it's an object. The mind can be experienced. That's what we do. We introspect. We feel our feelings. We enjoy and suffer from our emotions. So they are all objects. And therefore, you are not your mind either. So you're not the body, not the mind. Body and mind are objects presented to consciousness. Then what happens? The result of this is that then what happens to the body and mind is not what is happening to you, the consciousness. You're aware of it. Here is a pain in the body. You can feel a flash of pain. You've pinched the body. Then try to see it as an object, as this object. As the body is an object, the sensation of pain is also an object. We're not denying anything, not being escapist. We're just creating, imagine what it does is, it creates a psychological gap between you and the pain. It creates a psychological gap between you and that maddening thought in your head. It is not me, it's not even mine. Just as this is not mine, this body and mind, these are amazing machinery, physical and subtle machinery, hardware and software, provided by Mother Nature, God, whatever you think. But it's not you. And the further implication of that is, then what the body mind are going through are not literally what you're going through. You are aware of it. What belongs to the body stays in the body. A little bit like Las Vegas. Yeah? So, it's the body getting old and wrinkled. I'm aware of it. It's the flash of pain in the arm. I'm aware of it. If I'm aware of it, the Vedantic teachings are quite counterintuitive. I'm so miserable. And Vedanta tells us, do you feel your misery? Of course. That's what is consuming me. I'm so depressed, miserable. If you feel your misery, then you are not miserable. Because it's an object. And you are not an object. You are aware of the misery appearing in the mind. You were there before the misery. You are there during the misery. You'll be there after the misery is gone too. You did not come into being with the misery, nor is the misery stuck to you. This creates a space for maneuver, a space for freedom. It's a thing. It's not me. It's a great, great relief, this insight. And there are other tremendous insights which come up. I'm giving a sample of what is subtle, but it's very powerful. And it can be immediately applied. Vedanta says it's already a fact. All you need is to see it, to begin to apply it in your life. See it, that these are objects. As those objects there, so are these objects. It's just here in the body or in the mind, not me. not me, not even mine. And so there are wonderful Vedantic procedures. You can look it up. There's a huge textual material about it, tradition of centuries, of thousands of years. And I think a good deal of it can actually be turned into protocols for mental health. Things like Drigdrishya Viveka, the distinction of the seer and the seen. The Panchakosha Viveka, the distinction of seeing yourself as consciousness to which the body, the mind, the vital force, and intellect, they all appear and disappear. These things, I think, you can make simple protocols which can be immediately used for psychiatric interventions at a certain level. So this consciousness, free of the body-mind, aware of to which the body and mind are appearing as objects, what Vedanta says is, you are consciousness. You are awareness. They had so many words for it. Chit, Chaitanya, Sambit, Bodha, Bodhi, so many. You are this awareness. What Vedanta wants us to do is make this paradigm shift. Instead of saying, I am a body-mind with consciousness, I am consciousness with a body-mind. This is the first takeaway. I think the most important takeaway. That this change in our paradigm from I am this guy, this body and this mind, and therefore whatever happens to this unit is what's happening to me. The story of this body is my story. The story of this mind is obviously my story. It is not. And it's pretty easy to see that it is not. You are this bare awareness, this naked awareness, this light of lights. What a beautiful phrase. Jyoti Shamapi Tad Jyoti. It is the light of all lights. You shining, the body mind are revealed, and through that the world, body, mind, senses, the world is revealed to you. But you are free of the body and its characteristics and its problems, of the mind and its problems. No escapism, then you still deal with the mind and the body, but you relax. You, this consciousness you are, this is the Vedantic idea of the Atman, the self. The false sense of self, body-mind, thinking the diamond is a stone. The true nature of the self, I am awareness, already present. Nothing mystical about it, nothing extraordinary. It's there for all of us. We all have that diamond, we are that diamond. What Vedanta just does is, he introduces you to the diamond which you already are. So this is the first takeaway, that I am consciousness with a body-mind, not a body-mind with consciousness. It makes for huge implications. Just do it physically. I mean, right now, literally, make that switch. It can be done. All right, moving on. The second of four insights from the Vedic traditions. Whether we do Vedanta, philosophy, whatever we do, science, religion, it's all done in and through the mind. Yes, I am not the mind. You are not the mind. But the mind is very important. It's that which we are dealing with right now. All the issues, good and bad, intellectual, emotional, artistic, religious, spiritual, all of it involves the mind. In the Gita, Krishna says, the mind is your best friend, the mind is your worst enemy. The mind controlled is our best friend, the mind uncontrolled is our worst enemy. It's a great servant, it's a terrible master. So dealing with the mind, that's the second thing. And the, Vedanta, the Vedic sciences have huge amount of literature. This whole branch is called yoga. Swami Vivekananda called it Raja Yoga, the royal yoga. What I talked about earlier, the way of knowledge, Vivekananda called it Jnana Yoga, the way of knowledge, a philosophical approach, inquiry. That might seem very intellectual to many people. If it does not seem experiential enough, if it does not seem living enough, it just seems too much in the head, you come to this Raja Yoga. The essence of Raja Yoga is the mind uncontrolled is the source of all our problems. The mind controlled is a solution to our problems. I'm literally translating from what a monk told me in Hindi. I don't know how many of you understand Hindi. I'll tell you in Hindi and then translate. But with the original Hindi is very nice to hear. It's a kind of homely, village kind of Hindi. He says, Shant man mein bhala kaun samsar dekha hai Mahatma ji. Oh monk, whoever has seen a samsara in a serene, peaceful mind. See, what he's trying to say there is, Very counterintuitive. We think it's because of the world that my mind is disturbed. I am depressed, anxious, fearful, tense because of the troubles I'm being put through. Oh, you don't know my life. You don't know my troubles. If you don't know them, don't judge, it says in the train poster I was seeing. So, you don't know my experiences. I'm so troubled because of my experiences, because of the life I've led, because of what the world has done to me, what people have done to me. And this monk is saying, no, 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 no. It's because you are disturbed you have this samsara. It's not because of samsara that we are disturbed. It's because we are disturbed and anxious and fretful that we have this samsara. You might say, no, no, that's not true. People have problems, Swami. It's not that, it's just in the minds. Well, I'll say this to you. Many of you are in the medical profession here, and this whole place is medicine. All of you here, all those who are in this profession, you've dealt with thousands of patients in your life. And you know this one truth, more than any of us, doctors know this, nurses, healthcare workers know this, that there could be a patient with a life-threatening disease and could be calm and detached and strong and dignified. And there could be a person with a minor problem and could simply go to pieces. And you have seen this again and again and again. Who is suffering more? Literally, the actual measured impact psychologically, who is suffering more? It's the person who is upset. It's the person who is going to pieces. That person is suffering more. The person who is not going to pieces has peace. So internally peaceful, the suffering which the world throws at you, which your own body throws at you, you can deal with that much better. That suffering, the external pain, it can come and go. But suffering internally is an option. So that depends on the control of the mind. Peaceful mind, samsara loses its sting. The mind is not peaceful, then samsara grabs you by the neck. So this is the second insight. And the insight here is a vast, vast field. It's called yoga, or Patanjali Yoga is a classic text of this. Basically, the takeaway from this field is concentration, not distraction. The central thing here is in the way of meditation, in the way of Patanjali Yoga, is concentration of mind. To the concentrated mind, the world will yield up its secrets. The concentrated mind comes under your control. The distracted mind is a source of... The distracted mind is an unhappy mind. The focused mind is a happy mind. Again, counterintuitive. We think if I throw my mind out into the world, let me think whatever I want, let me feel whatever I want to feel, then I'll be happy. Won't be. We pull it in, bring it under our control through the yogic practices, then we are happy. So the takeaway from this second path, the path of meditation, is focus, concentration, not distraction. Third, and this is where the scientific community might hesitate, the way of devotion, the way of simple faith in God. Basically what you see in religion, temples and churches and mosques and so on and so forth. Belief in God, faith in God, but it works. And no one is more aware of this than the psychiatric community. I was part of a conference in APA, in the American Psychiatry Association, in Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago. And they are called faith leaders. And they said one thing, that the numbers show, the data shows, that those who have a deep relationship with their religion, they are likely to be more resilient and more resistant to mental illness. This is something that Jung understood long back. He said, I found in most people who come to me middle age and afterwards, many of their problems can be traced to a divorce between them and their faith. So a simple devotion, love, directed towards the divine in whatever form, whatever your tradition is, in whichever way you believe in the divine. And it's belief. I'm open about it. It's a question of belief. Till now we are philosophical, or till now we are psychological, but now it's a question of belief. In the path of devotion, in Sanskrit this is called bhakti yoga, the way of devotion, in whichever form, Krishna, Jesus, whatever, Allah, in whichever form, it works. It works immediately. You want to be happy immediately? Love God. You want peace of mind? Love God. You want this philosophical knowledge of the self and enlightenment? There also, the love, faith, surrender to the divine in some form is extremely powerful, extremely useful, and immediately it gives results. So the takeaway from this third path, again, vast literature is there. The takeaway from this third path, the path of love, is devotion, not desire. This same force flows out into the world in 100 different forms, and it's in the form of desire. What devotion does is, bhakti does is, it takes these same emotions and channelizes them into one almighty love for God, in whichever form you believe or you want to believe in God. So this is extremely powerful in a way of coping with mental health issues. And finally, the third one. All of what I've said till now are very private. It's limited to you. It's your own private matter. But a private spirituality ultimately is not not very spiritual in the end. One must engage with the world. So in the Vedic worldview, the engaging with the world, this is called karma yoga, spiritualizing. It's not just a part of my life is meditation and philosophy and a seminar like this, and the rest of my life is my secular life. No, spiritualize the whole of life. In work, in play, in relationships, with the community and the world, can I spiritualize that whole engagement with society? So here the takeaway is selfless, not selfish. Selfless, not selfish. And it's not a moral imperative. You have to be selfless. No. Again, the same thing. To be healthy, to be centered, to be happy. Selfless is much better than selfish. Again, counterintuitive. I think I'll be happy if I take care of I, me, myself. Has it worked? 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever our age is, if we look back, this selfish pursuit of project, one pointed project, I want to make this one happy. Has it worked? No. But if we just flip it and I say, I am here, what can I do for you? Immediately you see a peace of mind, a certain much greater strength, peace, calmness, ability to deal with my own smaller problems. They all become much smaller when I'm open to the world and willing to be of help to others. Could be in your job, in your community, in your family, or in large service initiatives like the one which is organizing this whole thing. All right, let me put it together. I think I've run out of time. Let me put it together. 4 takeaways from the Vedic perspective. 1, I am consciousness with body-mind, not body-mind with consciousness. First takeaway. That's the way of Jnana Yoga, the way of knowledge. 2nd, concentration, not distraction. That's the way of Dhyana or Raja Yoga, the way of meditation. 3rd, devotion, whichever form, whichever faith, religion. Devotion, not desire. That is the way of Bhakti Yoga, the devotion of, the way of yoga of love. And finally, selfless, not selfish. That's the insight from Karma Yoga. All of them, if you think about it, are counterintuitive. And all of them work. All of them have tremendous implications for health, especially mental health. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Behind, but we'll allow one question.
Yes, somebody with the microphone is.
So sorry, Kay has got a question.
Okay, Kay's got a question.
Thank you, Swami, for the wonderful insight. So my question is in 2 parts. One is there a specific seat of consciousness? Meaning, let's say when I'm in my waking moment, I feel like my consciousness is somewhere looking outside my eyes, behind but then let's say I'm in meditative state, there might be non-localized awareness that's not really specific in time and space. But when I think about, let's say if I'm amputated, I'm still conscious or aware, but I'm not sure if I was, if I was beheaded.
Yeah.
So there's that part, the seat of consciousness. And if so, what happens to consciousness after physical death?
Yes. All right, so the 2-part question, where is the seat of consciousness if there is one? And what happens to consciousness after death? First, let me give a direct answer to that. although it might seem a little mysterious. From an Advaitic perspective, there is no seat of consciousness. Body, mind, all objects and all possible seats of consciousness, they are appearing in consciousness. Consciousness is not literally in them, but it's a huge metaphysical flip because we are so used to thinking of ourselves as being embodied here. So that we feel, I must be somewhere in there. As you said, normally you feel you are in here somewhere. And that's inevitable. Huge amount of our sensory apparatus is here. Our eyes are here, nose, tongue, the skin is very sensitive here, ears are here. So you feel localized here. Sometimes in meditation, when you calm down, you center yourself, you feel you're here sometimes. And many of the scriptures talk about the heart as the center of consciousness. But that's just like a placeholder. You can think about it that way. As we go deeper, we see that everything is an object appearing to me in consciousness. Then you begin to see that consciousness is the seat of everything. It's not that consciousness is seated in the body. Rather, the whole universe is in consciousness, not consciousness in this body or in the universe. It's not an object which will be seated somewhere. But it can be useful for meditation to think of it as in the heart or sometimes as behind the eyes. The second question is, what happens to consciousness after physical death? Now, according to Vedanta, in fact, according to Yoga, Sankhya, Buddhism, all of them, consciousness is not a product of the body. It uses and it's localized, it functions through the body, but it's not being produced by the brain or the nervous system. So consciousness in the sense we are talking about, this basal consciousness, this bare awareness, this does not go away at the death of the body. If it was produced by the brain and the nervous system, once the brain is destroyed after physical death, it should go away. But it doesn't. This is the claim. And we can philosophically come to see it. This body, and including the brain, is something that we experience in consciousness. I could go into it, but the basic answer to it is this, that consciousness does not go away at the death of the physical body. In fact, the mind also, according to Vedanta, does not go away at the death of the physical body. It transmigrates, not just Vedanta. In fact, all these Indian systems of thought, all systems of Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Sikh thought, all of them, they say that even the mind does not die at the death of the body. It transmigrates. And consciousness is this constant light. And we are consciousness, not the physical body which dies, not even the mind which transmigrates. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.